Hi friends, this is Candace Gillespie from CandacesCanvases.com. Welcome to Scrappy Wednesday. We are going to make a toilet paper roll mini album. I'm sure you've seen them before, and this is my version of one I saw my sister Scrapper make. So this is totally based off of my memory, so here we go. What I did is I took 4 paper rolls and I flattened them in my Big Shot. And then I am using a paper stack that is 4.5 by 6.5. They just come like that. And I am putting adhesive all over. And I am lining up that paper roll, not quite to the edge. You'll see that way I don't have any pieces flinging off the edges here. So I started kind of not quite center, but not quite at the edge there. And then I'm just rolling it all the way around as tight as I possibly can. Putting any glue anywhere I might need. Of course, using my bone folder to burnish that glue in there into the paper fibers and to crease it well. Then I'm taking my paper snips and I'm cutting essentially a triangle here. I'm not cutting it out. You can if you would like, but I'm just kind of experimenting. So then I'm just folding that piece in, and then I'm going to apply more adhesive to the tabs that are sticking out. This size paper, or this paper stack, works great for these toilet paper rolls because it has just enough to fold in like this. So once you have enough adhesive on there, you'll fold it in on both sides. Make sure you take your bone folder and burnish that also. You want it to be nice and stuck down. There we go. And I've already done 3 of these, so this is the 4th one. And here they are, the other 3, so there's 4 total. Now we'll set those aside. And oh, here's the Moonlight. This is brand new, the Moonlight paper stack that I was mentioning in the item number if you're interested in ordering it at my online shop. But it is just gorgeous. It has these teals and grays and yellows and purples. It's just great. Here's the brand new Fast Fuse adhesive. Not quite as sticky as Sticky Strip, but way stickier than Snail, if that makes sense. So there's a trick to getting it to unattach, and that's to kind of make a sharp check mark at the end. You'll see me doing it here. So what I'm doing, and there's that sharp check, stop and make a sharp kind of check mark motion with the Fast Fuse adhesive so that it breaks that sticky. Anyway, I'm just layering up 3 more pieces of that paper stack, and I am using some chipboard that comes in the back of my designer series paper packages, and I just cut that into 2 5x3 pieces, 2 1 3/4 by 3 pieces, and 2 2x3, or rather 1 2x3 piece. And I am starting with just one of the center pieces, which is a 5x3. And from the left to the right, you'll need the piece on the very, very left is going to be your 2x3. Then the piece to the right next to that is going to be 1 3/4 by 3. And then you have a 5x3, a 1 3/4 by 3 that I'm fiddling with right now. And then another 5x3 right here. So this is the piece I'm fiddling with right now is going to be the front. And here is the top and the little front of the top. It'll fold over. Now, when you put your pieces together, you want to make sure you have at least double the width of your chipboard in between each piece. So I'm not butting those up right next to each other. You can see paper in between each piece. So you want to make sure you do that. Now it's time to miter the edges. Here I'm just kind of training the paper to give a little bit. Now mitering, you want to follow the same principle. You don't want to cut up close to the corner. You don't want to cut to the corner right on the corner. You want to leave at least double the width of your chipboard when you cut it. So leave some paper. Don't cut right up to that corner. Did I say that all right? Okay. So that's called mitering. And then you'll take your top and the bottom pieces, you'll give them a pre-fold just to train the paper to go that direction, and then put some adhesive. A lot of people I see doing this use sticky strip or some kind of super tacky dry adhesive. I like the Tombow because it dries dry. I don't know how else to say that, but and then I'm just taking my bone folder and pushing that paper into those gaps that I left, just kind of training it to fall in there. Adding more adhesive. Using my bone folder to burnish it down and really force that adhesive into the fibers of the paper and the chipboard. Just pushing it into those gaps. It's an important step, actually. Okay, here is the second part of our mitering. We want to push the edges of that paper along that side of that chipboard. And that's going to give us a super clean fold when we go to fold it. There we go. Okay, giving it a pre-fold, training the paper to fold that direction, and then applying our adhesive. Burnishing it down to make sure that adhesive gets into the fibers of our paper, and repeating on the opposite side. Okay, now I'm just gently folding it along those gaps. You don't want to fold it quickly, you want to just kind of train the paper to fold in those directions. Okay, now we're busting out the Simply Scored scoring tool, and we are going to make our invisible binding. And I recommend pausing it here, maybe jotting down those score lines, measurements, or scoring it as you go on pause, because there's a lot of measurements here. Basically, we're taking a 2 7/8 by 6 1/4 piece, lining it up lengthwise at the top, and scoring it at 2 half inches, basically half inch, 1/8, half inch, 1/8, half inch, 1/8, if that makes sense. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold in between on our score lines, in between each of those half-inch pieces. So you'll fold, skip a score line, skip a score line, fold, skip a score line, skip a score line, fold. And then we'll flip it over, and we are going to glue those 2 half pieces together, those 2 half-inch pieces together. When you do, take this opportunity to fold the other score lines in the opposite direction, as I'm doing here. Once it's in your hand, it'll make more sense. Use your bone folder to burnish those, and then flip it over and fold your new tabs in the opposite direction, and that'll take care of the remaining score lines. Now give this a good few burnishes in each direction to really train that paper to flip smoothly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the center there and add my adhesive, and the best that I can, I'm going to center this, which you'll see in the end I don't do a very good job because I'm in a rush, but you know, it's a better job than I may have done. It's fine. So once I get that on there, I'm going to push that paper into those creases like I've been doing. And then in between each tab, I'm also using my bone folder to really get that adhesive into the fibers of the paper and the chipboard underneath. And just burnishing that tab flap to go on either side. That'll just make sure that the pages turn well when we do that. Okay. So soon enough, the cardboard pieces will go on like this, or the toilet paper roll pieces. First, we have to trim our tabs at an angle on both sides. So you just want to make sure there's no specific measurement for these angles. You just want to make sure the angles are good enough to fit your pocket in. And each toilet paper roll is different, so you'll just have to kind of eyeball it. Okay, and before we put our pockets actually on there, we're going to line the inside with Designer Series paper. Now you'll need one piece that measures 2 7/8 by 5 3/8 and one piece that measures 2 7/8 by 9 1/8. So here I am just using the same paper stack that I've been showing you, the Moonlight paper stack, which is so adorable. It has these teals and yellows and purples and grays. I love it. And I am just gluing it on there, basically. And I'm having to add 2 pieces to measure up to that 9-inch piece that I had mentioned. So if you just use a 12 by 12 piece of paper, you won't need to do this. But if you use the paper stack, you will. Here's my second piece to kind of get that measurement that I'm looking for. There we go. Okay. So don't let this confuse you. This is not a third piece. It's just a piece that I'm adding to make that one length. Okay, then as we've done along the whole project, we're just forcing that paper into the creases. Now it's time to add the pockets, and I'm adding adhesive to either side of the tab. And the side of the pocket that the cardboard is showing is the side I'm adhering. So you fast forward. I am on the 4th pocket here and adhering that, and just making sure you can see at the top there, the top is the part of the roll that you have tucked the paper into. That way it's nice and clean looking and you don't have cardboard appearing out of nowhere. Okay, then just make sure those are all adhered very well. And then we are going to move on to tabs for the pocket, which you'll need 4 for your 4 pockets. And the scallop tag topper is my favorite. You've seen me use it a lot lately. And I just try to center that piece in there. It's designed to fit a 2-inch piece, but you can fit whatever size you want in there. There's a little slot for it. And then just, there they are, my tags. And when I finish this off, which this video doesn't show a completed, this is as far as the video shows, but you know, you can add ribbon to those tabs. It'll be just beautiful. So a belly band is what I use to close this. And you can use magnets, you can use Velcro, whatever suits you. But I just thought a belly band would be good because I didn't have either of those handy. And I think it was 14.5 by 1 1/4 inches. I did have to glue a couple pieces together. And rather than scoring it, you saw that I kind of fed it around the box so that the score lines were nice and loose, so you can slip on and off this belly band. So here it is. I love it. It turned out so good, and I can't wait to fill it. But I haven't figured out who I want to give it to yet. So what you could do is you could add flowers or sentiments or anything to the cover of this and make it just really stand out. So there it is, the toilet paper roll mini album. And I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like this video, subscribe for more, and leave a fun comment. And remember, if you need any crafting supplies, you can visit Candace'sCanvases.com and shop my Stampin' Up! Store there. Have a great day, everyone. See you for Fun Friday.